What's going on? What's going on? We're back with another edition of the ATL Three Style Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Leo G. And over there to my left is one of the other co-hosts of the ATL Three Style Podcast. Give it up for my boy Banks over there. What's going on with you, Banks?
What's going on, Leo G? What's going on out there in the internet land? What's going on with ya?
Man, I can't call it. I'm having a good one. Look, as we record this show today, man, happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to everybody, man. This is a part of American history. This is an American holiday. It's a federal holiday. So as we record this show, we're celebrating that, man. And I'm glad that we're able to do that, Banks. I don't know how you feel about it, man, but for a long time, it wasn't recognized. And, I'm not going to go into the history of it. You do your homework and you can look that up, man. But happy Juneteenth to everybody as we record this show tonight. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. I guess not. I guess Banks has nothing to say about Juneteenth. We're gonna keep it moving as always, man. We're gonna get into a little business. Banks, let everybody know about our partner, one of our partners out there, man, on the east side, man. Let them know what's up.
Well, we got this Eastlands Woodworking Company from my man Phil. You go out there, he does woodworking for your needs, celebrations and all that good stuff. Anything you want customized, like your name or your favorite team on an ashtray, on a plaque, anything like this, for example, on this coaster, you see has my initial B for Banks, and then my favorite team on this coaster. I need to get a lot more because I'm loving these. But yeah, as you can see, he does anything and everything. So hit my man up on that QR code and tell him we sent you.
Absolutely, man. Hit my man Phil out there, Eastlands Woodworking, man. Also, you gotta hit my man. Gotta definitely hit my man Bachi out there, man, as well. BEZ moisturizing conditioning spray, man. He doing it big. You know how it is. Matter of fact, I gotta get up with him, man, because I need some more, Banks. I'm out, and I know you needed some too. 470-222-9927. 470-222-9927 to hit our boy up, man, to get some more of that spray. It's a good product. I did bless Derrico with some. I don't know what he gonna do with it. Speaking of Derrico, he's still out of pocket. He'll be back, I'm told, sometime soon. Who knows? But I gave him some of that spray, man. I have no idea what he's gonna do with that spray. I have no idea.
I guess he can use it for some suntan lotion.
I don't know. He got a little bit of hair on his head. Maybe throw it up there or something. I have no idea. All right, man. Let's do the fit check, man. Let everybody know what you're rocking tonight, man.
Oh man, nothing special, man. Just rocking a Falcons hat with this Falcons shirt. Ain't nothing special, man. Just want to throw on something. You know what I'm saying? This is the rep. Any particular team I could have picked today. I could have been Braves down today. I could have been Dream down today. And I chose Falcons.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. Speaking of Dream, man, I gotta find me some Dream gear around here somewhere, man. Like I said, I have to check out a game. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the things I have to get to the game. I know they probably got it all over there at College Park. I have to go over there and check out a game, man, to cop me some Dream gear, man. So listen, we're gonna talk about a few things here on the show tonight, man. One of the things we're gonna talk about is, of course, the Braves. So I'm rocking some Braves gear here. This hat, Banks, check this hat out, man. I was just at the Braves game last night, which we'll get into here in just a minute. This is the new All-Star cap, man. For the if you didn't know, the All-Star game will be played here in Atlanta this year, man. MLB. It was supposed to be played here a couple of years ago, but because of politics, that didn't happen. So now they're bringing it back. They're running it back, man. So this is the hat. I thought it was pretty cool, man. So I went ahead and picked it up. It's real different. I got so many variations of Braves hats, it's not even funny. So I just added this to the collection. So it looks like a regular Braves hat, but it has a little 2 stars up there, and then it has a little All-Star patch on the side, man. So I picked that up when I was at Truist on yesterday. And Banks, I got this. I don't know if this looks familiar to you or not, but this that 2021 World Series shirt. This is the actual shirt I got I don't even want to call it the parade. I'll call it drive-by. That's damn sure what it was. We were downtown checking out that parade in 2021 when they won the World Series, man, because we weren't up in Cobb. We were downtown in Atlanta. We were in Atlanta checking out the parade, and they flew down Peachtree, man, drive by. It was crazy. But this is the tee I still have. I still rock it. that I got from one of the vendors down there, man. Great time, man. Hopefully we get a chance to celebrate another championship parade here pretty soon. Speaking of championships, Banks, before we get into the meat of the show, man, Florida NHL, there's been a lot of talk here in Atlanta about possibly getting another NHL team here. I had said that in my lifetime, I would never see an NHL team here in Atlanta. We've lost two. We've lost two NHL teams, if you didn't know. The Flames, they moved to Calgary. And then the Thrashers, if I'm not mistaken, they went to, wasn't Vancouver?
Winnipeg. They went to Winnipeg. The Winnipeg
They went
Jets.
to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And left us high and dry. But there has been some talk that it could possibly come back. There have been some places around the metro Atlanta area, not the Atlanta area, but the metro Atlanta area that are trying to build and court the NHL back to metro Atlanta. So just past Florida Panthers, they go back to back win Stanley Cups, man, down there in Florida. A lot to cheer about down there, man. Could you imagine, Banks, back to back championships down there with the Panthers? They're gonna have probably a parade if they hadn't already had one, man. But we've never experienced that here in Atlanta. Damn it, I would like to see that back to back, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. Congrats to that team down in South Florida. The Florida Panthers actually was the same two teams last year as well, with Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. The piggyback on what you're saying about the I guess the forward motion of an NHL team here in Atlanta. They had, I guess they granted a go of the new gathering they're calling up there in Forsyth County. I guess they're gonna pitch that to the hired to be's in the NHL world to perhaps get a hockey team here in the South. I don't know what all you have to do. I know the way they left, I think it was kind of unfair for the city because it had nothing to do with the fans. I think it was all about mismanagement of ownership, and perhaps maybe they just didn't really care about the team. They didn't care about they were more in for the money grabbing for the Hawks. And I think the Thrashers was just there. They were like, oh, well, we could do without them. Wasn't fair for the city of Atlanta because we didn't had nobody that know anything about hockey. That what I mean, people, some people who can bring like marketing, to the city. I don't think the fans was a problem. The fans was there. I used to go down there. It was Phillips Arena at the time. It was called Blue Land. Blue Land was rocking. I will always remember the Thrashers. I still have my Thrashers sweaters upstairs. Listen here. I want to see another hockey team here. If it's the Thrashers or whoever, I think it would do well here in the city of Atlanta.
Well, listen, hockey traditionally has done well here in this city. We can take it all the way back to the IHL days when we had the Atlanta Knights here. The Atlanta Knights actually won a championship. So that was one of the first teams besides the Braves to actually win a championship here in this city, if you remember, Banks. And part of one of the traditions here in Atlanta, if you've ever been to a sporting event, when we sing the national anthem, when they say night, that part when they say through the night in the national anthem, there's a burst from old school Atlanta that says Knights because that was part of the tradition down there at the Omni when the Atlanta Knights were playing. So there's been a long history of hockey here in Atlanta. Like I said, the Flames was here through the 70s. And like you said, we end up losing them to Calgary. I wasn't around. I would have to do some digging. Of course, I have read some articles, but I need to go back into doing some research and some reading about why the Flames actually left. Banks, if you may know, you can touch on that here in just a second. The Atlanta Spirit Group was trash. A1 trash. A1 trash how they treated the Thrashers, and A1 trash how they did the Hawks. It was, no fault of the fans. And I hate this because a lot of people around the country, think that people here in Atlanta do not support the sports teams. And that's not the case. We support every sports team here in this city. It's a big following. Like you said, Banks, a big following for the Thrashers over at Blue Land. But people don't realize outside of the city how bad the Atlanta Spirit Group was for sports and how bad they set, not only didn't give the Thrashers their due, but how I think we're still to this day suffering with the Hawks because of how bad that management was and how just they ran that team over there. Wrestler now owns the Hawks, but we're still trying to, get that wheel moving and get the Hawks into, some real deal conversations of relevancy. I mean, they've been, as the young folks say, mid for a long time, even with stars like Trae Young. I don't see it. Banks, I don't know. Maybe we can touch this for maybe it's another episode, but the Flames, do you have any input or insight as to how they kind of fizzled out here in the city?
I can't say per se. Remember telling my grandfather who was um, saying what the Flames were to the city. They kind of matched the Hawks, if you will, in the Omni. Um, I can't, I don't know for certain about how they left. All I remember is he was saying that as soon as they left and went to Calgary, Calgary went on and win a Stanley Cup final. So I think that was kind of unfortunate because that was the same exact team that was just in Atlanta. So I don't know. I have to do some research on that of why the Flames left. I thought the colors and the word Flames for Atlanta kind of was synonymous with each other, and it's a shame that we lost it. I would love to have that red A with the flame. I thought that was kind of hard.
Yeah, I got. It's hard to kind of find it. I think I got a retro like Scully downstairs with the Flames logo on it. Hard to kind of find that memorabilia. Here's something real funny, Banks. I was going through my social media scroll, and shout out John Freaky, who's a sports caster here on one of the radio stations. And he was saying that if Atlanta somehow got NHL team back, that Calgary is going to have to give us that name back because the name meant everything, like you said, Banks, to this city and the reason it was chosen. And he said that Calgary should actually give us that name back. Now, of course, when the Thrashers went to Winnipeg, they changed it all the way around to the Jets and just, did a whole overhaul of the team. Calgary didn't. They just took the team and just changed it from Atlanta to Calgary, and they kept the name.
The funny thing about Winnipeg had a franchise before the Thrashers, and they lost their team, they just want the Jets back. So I guess anything, anybody that comes through here, let's say hypothetically, they were granted another franchise here in Atlanta. I never thought about Calgary coming off the name. I don't think they would do that. But I think the Thrasher name will return. I think a lot of people, was rumors saying that, well, maybe they should adopt the Gladiators, down in Gwinnett. No, I don't think Gwinnett. I think that was Gwinnett's thing with the Gladiators. Georgia Gladiators now, as they were called, they want to keep that name going since that's the current team in the metro area. I don't think that will fly with a new NHL team, the Georgia Gladiators. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think the Thrashers, since it left abruptly, I think people who are fans will love to have the Thrashers back. The state bird. It just makes sense. I would love this for the Flames to come back, but I mean I know that's not going to happen probably. But the Thrashers will probably be the winner to be the new name.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that works. Obviously, there'll be a lot of conversations talked about, and we'll get into that as time goes on. If that starts to actually looks like it's picking up traction and it's going to happen here in the Metro Atlanta area with them building, like you said, the Gathering or whatever type of arena they're doing up in Forsyth County. All right, Banks. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about a little bit about the Braves, man, because I got some stuff I want to talk about that's very relevant, man, and we've discussed it before, but I'm going to, I guess, get into details with it tonight because it hit me yesterday, and it's just weird how this all transpired. So we'll talk a little bit about the game and what happened last night, but I want to talk about the whole overall experience with going up to Truist. So we went up last night, Banks, as I've gone several times up there to check out the Braves playing the Mets last night, but it was a promotion night. So the first thing is we get up there. First of all, if you're not from Atlanta and you don't know what happened with the situation with the Braves, they actually moved from inside the city, what we call inside of 285. They were right down in the Summer Hill area where the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium once resided in the old Turner Field. And for political reasons and other reasons, but a lot of reasons, probably unbeknownst to a lot of fans, they decided to move on up the way into Cobb County, quote unquote, still technically Atlanta, but it's in Cobb County. They built the stadium up there, and it's Truist Park. Well, so first and foremost, Banks, logistically, freaking nightmare to get to if you don't live in that area. I live south of the city, only maybe about 23 to 28 miles away. So the game last night, it was a 7:15 pitch, I think. Banks, Atlanta traffic will not let you be great. We get in the car, I put into my GPS to get up there. It says an hour and 16 minutes. To go 20, literally less than 30 miles. That is insane. You know, for LA, New York, Miami, Dallas, I don't care where you are, Banks. The traffic in this city is absolutely insane. You know, and as we start to ride, you know, the joke here in Atlanta and the memes here in Atlanta are you start to see whatever you started with, oh, that's going up, Banks. That's going up. So if it was a set of hour 17, by the time I got on 285, man, it hit damn near hit an hour and a half. So now I'm in traffic. I'm already hot. We leave, you know, we try to leave a little early, but we already hot. But Banks, this ATL traffic will not let you be great, especially going up to Cobb County with it.
Listen here, man. I always feel like wherever you trying to go within the city, 285, 75, 85, 400, wherever you're going, you need to tack on an extra hour, hour and a half grace period because you're going to sit. There's no such thing as a rush hour or a peak hour. It's always traffic. It's more traffic on Saturday and Sunday than it is on the weekday. You try to go anywhere in the weekend, you're just not going to make it. You
And
know,
granted,
and
Banks,
it's
you
it's
know,
it's it's a shame. You're right. It's
granted, Banks,
nightmare.
we've been here all our lives, so we remember when there was this monstrosity of traffic. It wasn't the case. It's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten out of hand. Just to tell you the time difference between going during kind of like peak time and then coming back after the game. Put in the GPS. I'm leaving the game to get back to my house. Same distance. Put in the GPS. 31 minutes to get home, as opposed to an hour and a half going. 31 minutes to get home. Crazy, insane. So traffic, one thing up to Truist Park. Get to Truist Park. We are a little bit late, but like I told you, Bank, shout out. They did a promotion last night, Usher. They were giving away bobbleheads. That was one of the reasons that we picked this game to go to. And obviously, Banks, I've never had a real bad time with getting promotional items from the Braves. It is kind of a push because I get to the details in that in just a second. But I never really had a hard time getting any of the promotion. Shout out to your grandfather, Mr. Banks, got his bobblehead right. Got the rings, the Acuna chains, the Ozzy Albies chains, other bobbleheads. We've got. Like I said, we ran a little late. We're running a little late. We get up there, and of course, obviously, when we get there, there are no more bobbleheads. So to put this in perspective, Banks, Truist Park holds roughly about 42,000 people. Each Braves promotion that they do for things like this, they only give out 15,000 items. 15,000. And if they're doing it for kids, it's even less. It's about 3,000. I have no idea what the reasoning is for this. I don't know, Banks, maybe you do. But for a stadium that holds 42,000 people, if you only give away 15,000 promotional items, to me is absolutely insane. Mind you, the first pitch is at 7:15. I talked to a couple of people that were actually, you know, they work in the stadium. A friend of mine, shout out my boy Casey, man, he works in the stadium. And he was like, people, you know, were camped out as early as like noon and 1 o'clock to get one of these said promotional items. Now, you know, the Braves are going to do what they do. Obviously, man, my little bitty opinion of what happened, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But I just think this is a disservice to your fans. Banks, I'll let you elaborate, but like I said, hadn't had a problem before getting any of the promotions. Like, God, I had to get up there, like I said, 4 or 5 hours before the damn first pitch to do it. But I think this is just a disservice to the fans. What are your thoughts on a 15,000 promotion giveaway to a stadium that holds 42,000? And it was almost at capacity last night.
I don't know if that's a ploy to get people there, to get there early to watch the game. I don't think Brace ever had a problem with people with fannies in the seats early. I think you go to a regular baseball game on a regular night, people are there, they're watching the first pitch. I don't, and that I was just using that as a theory. I have no idea why they only will give out 15,000. I mean, for 40 plus thousand seats, at least give out 30,000. It, you will want everyone to experience that. Not to mention, you got those particular individuals who get more than one. So that's taken, that's not fair. I mean, you would literally have to be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get there at 12 and just wait so I can make sure I get my hands on one. A lot of people don't have time to do that. People still got to work during the day. So that's kind of, not easy. It's not easy to do unless you just take off the whole day for it. And I don't think that's worth doing. So, I don't know. I just feel like, Braves, that whole giveaway thing. And when he gets something that's popular like Usher or Outkast or something like a Spider-Man, Michael Harris. It's rare. You know what I'm saying? When you get them rarity bobbleheads, it's gonna bring everybody out. Every person that's not even a Braves fan is coming out. So that's some of the things that just kind of like shrug your shoulders at, I guess.
And it's funny you should say that, Banks, is because like I said, I don't think the Braves have any control over the secondary market, right? But like you said, when they have these special promotions, you got people that would normally I don't think they're regular fans. The people that normally wouldn't go to a Braves game, they see that there's going to be a secondary market for whatever the promotion is, so they buy tickets and say, "Hey, I'm going to try to get one of these promotional items." And like you said, Banks, three, four, five, six of them, and try to put them out on the secondary market and sell them. So, like I said, no bueno in getting the promotion last night. My son was a little disappointed in that, but it is what it is. And to your point, Banks, the Braves have actually had to run some of these promotions back. They had to run the Outcast promotion back because of the similar situation. They end up having to run the World Series ring like 4 times back because the same thing. Just not I don't know if people complain. I don't know if they saw like, well, dang, the secondary market crazy. People selling these replica rings on the secondary market, $100, $200, $300. Absolutely crazy. So I mean, I don't know who's over there marketing it at the Braves, but man, y'all gotta do a little better, especially for fans like myself and Banks. That we come to support the team. We always have. We've done it for a while. And like you said, Banks, it's hard to kind of move heaven and earth sometimes, especially for a Wednesday night game in the middle of the week to try to get up there and get one of these promotions, man. So definitely had to talk bad about that because it wasn't cool. Also, another thing we're going to Truist Parks Banks, and you know this probably just as well as I do, is the parking is ridiculous. So not only did I have to drive an hour and a half to get there, the parking is crazy. If you want to pay for premium parking, you might pay more than you pay for your ticket, Banks. Am I right? For premium parking.
Absolutely, and that's goes to show you. Where did you park at? Where did you go end up? What did you end up parking at?
So I ended up parking at the Renaissance Waverly. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. I ended up buying some tickets off a secondary site and I got a parking pass. Well, funny thing is, I got a parking pass to park at a hotel. I get the pass, I go to the hotel. They tell me that they are no way in form affiliated with this parking service that I got my parking pass through. Luckily, shout out to the people over at the Renaissance Waverly for working that out with me. And then shout out Tick Picks for actually investigating that and giving me a full refund on that parking pass that I purchased. Absolutely insane. So yeah, I end up parking over there at the Waverly over by Galleria, and that's a 20-minute walk. It's 20-minute walk. Luckily, it wasn't that hot. It had overcast and it wasn't no rain or anything like that. But that was a 20-minute walk. I mean, I'm in pretty decent shape, but that's about a half a mile walk over to the stadium. Have them, so like I said, if you want to park like right on top of the stadium over there by the Battery, you looking to drop easy $100, easy 100.
And that's crazy because I used to park at Cumberland Mall and just walk across the bridge. And I don't think the bridge is. I think they're working on it right now, so people are not able to walk across the bridge to get to Galleria and the stadium. So now I have a game coming up soon. Well, I know I'm going to the one in August when they give away the 1998 World Series, 1995 World Series ring, and I will be there. But I'm dreading to go because I know parking is just going to be impossible.
And you better be
So
there at 9 o'clock in the morning, then, brother.
yeah, and then like I said, I went early to get the Outcast bobblehead that year. So I mean, I listen. I'm prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? You go to the Battery, give you a couple of drinks, and once you realize that people start to file in, go ahead and get your spot. Get your chair, do what you got to do, grab your ring or your bobblehead, grab it and leave. That's what I did. You know, let's just make sure I just got my hands on it. So, like I said, I'm dread thinking about it, where I'm going to go. I'm going to secure my spot. I don't know at this moment because everything is changing down there. My I guess my little hidden secret was the park at the food court over there at the Cumberland Mall and walk across the bridge. It was a little hike, but it was free. So now they on cut the bridge out. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I got to figure out something. I think up this is a couple of months away. So
Yeah,
I
man.
figure something out.
Yeah, man. Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely insane. Also, prices, concession prices are higher than, you know, giraffe, but just the experience. I've already got in my mind before we talk about the game a little bit, man. Before we close this thing out, I've already put in my mind, Banks, that I love my Atlanta Braves. I truly do. But I went out to Phoenix last year and I saw them play the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm gonna say this much: it was easier for me to catch a flight and fly to Phoenix, get a hotel for the night, and watch the Braves play in Phoenix than it was for me to traverse in this city, in my own city, to watch them up at Truist Park. That's a damn shame. So I talked to my family, and in the future here moving forward, Banks, I mean, I know they got some promotions coming up. I might be interested in going to the one in August with you to get that ring for the 95 World Series replica. But I think maybe next year, man, it might be, hey, find 2 games somewhere close, Cincinnati, St. Louis, whatever. When we play there, Milwaukee, we get a ticket, we get a room for the night. We go there, Uber to the game, Uber back to the hotel, catch a flight back to Atlanta, and not go all of that, right?
But it seems like that might be the easy thing to do. I, for one, I'm looking forward to when the A's move to the Vegas, and once that stadium in Vegas open for the Oakland A's, well, the Las Vegas A's, and Braves play them, I will be there. I will be there to make sure, they probably play 3 games in a row, and I'll catch one of
I
them.
play all not shit. Well, to be honest, man, I was thinking about it, man. Hell, we go out there and get tickets probably for the whole series if they play a 3-game series, man.
Perhaps it depends. It depends. I may just want to be there for a couple of days only. I don't want. That's three whole days. We'll see. Like I said, once that team moves to Vegas, that's another spot that I wouldn't mind seeing the Braves go to. I have people at work. They be like, "Look, you want to go to a Braves game in Miami to see the Florida Marlins and Braves?" I'm like, "Yeah, maybe."
Hey, man.
Braves and Tampa, Florida. I remember the guy who was telling me about the Marlins trip. He said he went to Tampa to see the Devil Rays and Braves. And he said it was nothing but Braves fans in that stadium. Absolutely a home game for the Braves. So I was like, well, Braves fans, we travel, so that's no secret. I mean, that's everywhere you go, you're gonna hear the chop somewhere, somehow. So I know when you say you went to Phoenix, that was Braves country out there. So I mean, I have no problem with going to another stadium and filling out number because I know there's gonna be Braves fans there, guaranteed.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, hey, so the Braves did do one thing. After all of that, they did win. So last night they win 5-0. Bats were ringing. Acuna hits a home run. His first at bat. Chris Sale was pitching out of his mind as they took on the first place Mets. I think they're about 11 and a half games back. They're like in 3rd place right now. So, I mean, we have seen the Braves walk down the Mets, and we know that they can do it. But so I guess the icing on the cake was that they actually did win the game last night. So we were able to see them to take a win, and we were able to see a good outing by Chris Sale. So they're back at it
Well,
again against the Mets tonight.
I think small, small steps, baby steps. We're 11 but out the division, but we're only like 5.5 out of the wild card. I think that's the most realistic destination right now for this team is a wild card spot. Like you just said, we've walked down the Mets before, and we've been down as much as I think 11 to them at one point. So it's not impossible, but at the same time, it's a lot. It's still early. I mean, we're
Yeah.
before the All Star break, so it's kind of early to talk about a walk down. But at the same time, it's like if you want to win a division, that's what you have to do. But if you want a playoff spot, I think the road is not so strenuous to try to walk down a couple of teams, 5.5 games back. Now, listen, you have a Pro 4 who's coming back soon. And like I said, if you get on this little, I don't want to call it a run because I think runs end up um, stopping. When you go on a run, you can go on a run for 2 weeks and then just suck for the next three. So I'll just say in a streak, in a sense, Braves are known, especially around this time on the July and August, to start this little run. I had to say it. I mean, it's some kind of a they do it every year. They do it every year. You
Well,
look up and it's all of a sudden like Braves 4 games back. Like, how did that happen? But
well, like they always say, as the weather gets hot, so does the Braves. So I mean, it's starting to heat up. It's starting to get hot. We're gonna start getting into July and August. Dog days of summer, and that's what they do. Banks. We've seen them do this, for a long time, man. This is like we always talk about one of the teams in the city that we don't really worry about when it comes to the postseason and making it there. I mean, they've had tremendous success over the last 40 years of getting in the dance and getting in the fight. And like I said, they have brought the most recent championship into this city. Look, Banks, man, I know we're about to. I'm sorry. Go ahead before we wrap this up.
I was about to actually want to throw out like a little promo, but not a promo per se, but a promo for what I want to discuss going forward. And you just said it about the Braves, doing stuff that we're not worried about. We're kind of accustomed to Braves kind of like coming through at the end. The Braves have won the city of championship twice. Okay. And I want to have a topic about this later on, maybe not next week, but soon. The the natives, the sports fans in this city, like you and I and Derico, we have this kind of like this. We give you a leeway window for error, like they're in a slump now, and I think a lot of people kind of like, okay, it's whatever. Let this be the Hawks, or let this be the Falcons, or let this be United. Well, not even United. Let this be any other team without a championship in the city, and they go in this slump. And we're our body language is different. We talk different. When the Braves do this, and it's just okay, it's whatever. I want to talk about the championship mindset of the city. If the Hawks win this championship or the Falcons win that championship, where will your mind be? Do you have a different outlook? Do you have a tolerance of a slump versus, each loss is a death nail, if you will. And also Georgia Bulldogs, a whole different mindset. Georgia Bulldog fans don't fret about missing championship runs back to back years. We got back to back wins, rings. So had that happened, if Georgia did not win those two national championships, it'd be different. But yeah, I want to talk about that later on. I feel like I have a lot to say about it because I noticed people talk different when it comes to Braves or when it comes to Falcons and Hawks. And it's like if we need to just get one win out of those two, then with this to talk different, then that's what we need to be hoping and praying for. So we can have some kind of a sanity when it comes to conversation in this city because it's lopsided completely.
I got you. I got you. Definitely, man. We'll definitely talk about it. That's more a talk of the psychology of a sports fan, we'll definitely dig into that, talk about the PTSD, talk about the psychology of it, because yeah, there is something to be said about, how we look at teams and how we look at, the success of certain teams as opposed to, not so much with others. So yeah, we'll definitely get into it. Banks, we've come to the mark, man. We're definitely gonna get up next week, man, and do this, man. Derrico might pop up. He might not. You never know. We could have a guest. We might have a guest, hopefully, to talk some sports with us on next week as well. Banks, let everybody know where they can find you at, brother, man, before we close this out.
You can find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook or Baby Banks 80 on the ground. And hit me up on the DMs, man. If you watch the show, and you always let me know you watch the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and keep us in your algorithms.
Subscribe, like, and follow. Like I said, catch us on all streaming platforms, man. You catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook. Obviously, you catch us anywhere you can get your podcast, man. We are out there, man. ATL 3-Style Podcast, the ATL 3-Style Podcast. Check us out. You can also catch me on the Twitter or the X these days at Southern Set with 2 T's. Also catch Derrico out there in them East Side streets, wherever he is. I don't know, but hopefully we'll get up with him next weekend. He'll be back, but we'll be back for another edition of the ATL 3-Style Podcast.